Hey guys, so we are going to work on perfect numbers. So a perfect number is essentially a way of finding a pattern. So we have some factors. If the sum of the numbers that have the factor add up, it becomes a perfect number. If it's greater than the actual number itself, it becomes abundant or deficient if it's less than the total number. So read this and understand it, and then go ahead and pull the project down. We're going to do what we've done lots of times already. So open this up in my text editor, open up the test, and open up the method that we need to implement. So 6 is a perfect number, and 12 is not, so it returns abundant, and this returns deficient. And down here we have some errors to raise. Okay, I'm using regex, so this is going to make sure that we have a message in our value error. So go ahead and read up on regex. I did that. Is a very big subject on its own, but we can solve this. Let's get going. So we want to. There are a few things we need to do. We need to get all the numbers, so all the factors, and then we need to add the numbers up. So 5 is perfect, so we need to get this a sum of all the aliquots. Okay, so now I'm going to say sum. I'm going to go return x, and for x in, we're going to go for a range starting from 1 to number. Okay, so imagine number is 6, it will print from 1 to 5, and then only return that number if the number modulo x is 0. So if it is a factor, essentially, then we can return it as x. So this is the number that will be returned if the condition is met. And then we sum it up. All right. So now we can go ahead and check if that sum, so here, if the sum is equal to the number, it's perfect. Okay, so double equal sign is for checking that two things are the same. Then we want to return the string we're testing for, which is perfect, like that. All right, so once we have that, we can do the same. If it is greater than number, again, we'll go and look for that. That's abundant. So we'll copy that, paste it in there. And lastly, if that sum is less than number, then we want to return deficient. All right, so that is how our classify works. Okay, so we can now have a look, run our pi test, and let's see how many errors we get. So we have 2 errors, and those are to do with raising assertions. So here we need to raise an error if we have 0 or -1 supplied. All right, so to raise an error, we have to check it before anything is done. So above here, we essentially want to say raise, and then we put the class, which is value error, and then here we have to put something in here. All right, this is checking for not a natural number. So 0 and -1. So I'm going to just say not a natural number. Okay, so we raise an error if the number that was given, right, is less than or equal to 0. So any number given that's less than or equal to 0 will raise that error. So that's what the test is trying to prevent. So let's have another check. All right, so we're just checking, and that's it. So everything is green. All right, so I want to refactor this. This classifier feels to me like it's doing a bit too much. All right, so it raises an error. So if I in the future want to change how the error works, I need to just make a change in one function. So I'm going to call that check value error. All right, and then I'll just move this out of here and put it in here, and this needs to accept, okay, an argument number. All right, so that's it. So that looks okay to me. If I copy that and I paste it in here, everything should still work as expected. So the classify has become less complex as far as I'm concerned. So there should be one reason to change the classify. All right, so again, we have a way of finding all the factors, and then we add the factors up together. I would like to move that out and have a method called sum factor, which would also accept number. All right, cancel. All right, so I'm going to just create that sum factor. All right, and put number in there and paste. So this will do that job. And finally, of course, I want to make sure it returns that value. All right, so now our classify would be easier to maintain in the future. And if I run this, it should all be green. All right, so I'm happy with this. Yep, that looks fine. Classify does if statements to check. Now, if that's fine, let's go ahead and submit the work and learn from other people's work as well. So that's done. Submit. Yep, that's the work up there. It's fine. Complete. All right, let's view some work from others. All right, so randomly just pick one. So this is raising an error up there as expected. Then it has factors, which takes number. So, okay, so that's factors over there, which then gets added up. And it has this cool way of returning on one line. So I have an array. If that returns true or false, it is the same as 0 and 1. So it will return the right value, perfect or deficient. That's actually very clever. And here we have a for loop. It goes through the range. If it's a factor, it pushes it into a variable, and then it will run through the factors. Yep, that's okay. So even if you don't agree with this, the idea is to read it and learn from it. So again, this is very similar to the previous one. So we're just learning how to read Python and just getting comfortable with it. Again, this is very similar. A range, push into a variable, and then loop through. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.